Okay. Hi, Demetra. Okay, so Demetra, this is for you. Video about Genesis 1 through 6, maybe a little bit more. Oh, okay, maybe a little bit more to basically taking notes and to like put this together to make it make sense for yourself. And again, if anybody watches this video, chooses to watch this video, um, I would suggest start off at Genesis as well and take your own notes. Don't just copy mine. I mean, you can, but still do it yourself, go through it, and especially take notes. Don't just read it and, okay, I'm done with it. Take notes, write it down, see your own handwriting on a sheet of paper, and don't just highlight things in the Bible. Like, really, 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 like, take notes and have yourself make it make sense so you can understand. Because I'm like, why move on to other stuff in this book when you don't even understand the beginning? Well, for me, when I don't even really fully understand, like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I have questions, and I'm like, how people and to just like skip over the beginning and then go straight to different things in the Bible and quoting all of that, when it's like, okay, let's take it back to the beginning. Let's understand the beginning first and then utilize the beginning, um, you know, to for reference in the middle. I know what I'm trying to say, Demetra. But anyways, okay. Let me see. Is this hopefully this TV not too loud? Uh, okay. Let's see here. What do I have? I'm like so excited because I'm like, my daughter is with her dad. They went to the park. My son, he's in a room chilling. So it's like, got some time. I mean, got some time. Not like, not like a whole lot, but this would do. See what I can do. Okay, so Demetra, let's see. Oh yeah, so I'm not understanding. Oh, and again, if somebody else watches this video and if y'all know some of the answers or want to comment or just put your views and your thoughts on what I'm saying, please feel free to do so, because I like to know other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings and facts and how y'all came up with stuff and everything like that. But yeah. So with that being said, let's go to, let me see, Genesis 2:24 through 25. I wrote some stuff down. Let me read it. Okay, it says Genesis 2, verse 24 and 25. It said, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed." Okay, so I'm reading this after woman was created from Adam's rib, from his bone. So with that, my question is to myself, or like I said, I'll figure it out, or somebody knows it, cool, let me know what y'all thinking. How do Adam know about fathers and mothers? And also, therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Like, how would Adam know about fathers and mothers and even a wife? Like, when he was just created from the dirt. Like Adam, Genesis 2, verse 7. The Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So, again, the whole nostrils thing and the Lord God, not God, because God spoke things into existence. He didn't have to form. Lord God formed through the dust of the ground. So, and breathed through his nostrils. So it's like Adam was like dust, clay, a dusty dirt, mud, soil, something, and Lord God formed them. And then, in order for him to, I guess, breathe, the Lord God breathed into his nostrils. So that's like, that part right there is like, okay. So how did the Lord God breathe into his nostrils? Did he, I don't know. That's, and I mean, maybe throughout this book it might say, but I'm like, why doesn't say it now? Why don't it say it how this happened? Or we just assuming, okay, two humans, two arms, two legs, yada yada yada, formed this man through clay. Is like that clay sculpture or mud that people be doing, and say Adam is laid out, or the man is laid out, and then another human is like, yeah, this person, this clay model looks good. Let me just breathe into his nose. Like, why he ain't breathe into his mouth? Because I know when people do CPR, what do they breathe into the mouth? Yeah, they hold your nose. Well, they hold the nose. Let me think. Yeah, hold the nose and breathe into the mouth. Yeah, hold the nose and breathe into the mouth. But Lord God just breathed into his nostrils. So it's like, to me, I mean, it's like confusing. How in the world? But okay. Breathed through his nostrils and he became a living soul. So that's Genesis 2, verse 7. When Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. Okay. And then at the end of Genesis 2, verse 24 and 25, is like they talking about his father, like they referencing, since, okay, let me go to 23, Genesis 2:23. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Ashamed." So I'm like, how do Adam know anything about a father and mother and wife? You feel me? That's my question. I'm like, dude, you just came from the dirt. You like, who told you about mother and father? You dirt, or you soil. You I don't okay, Demetra. So you know what? I hope somebody watch this video so y'all can comment at least on that part. Like, how do he know about father and mother? But let me guess, hey, it's just what it is. But I'm like, make it make sense. Okay, so moving on. What's the next part? Genesis 2:22. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Yeah, that part. I was Googling instead thereof, and I'm still like not really understanding what does that mean. Because I'm like, where did the flesh come from? Like, unless when Lord God breathed into his nostrils, it's, he changed into flesh and bone, or, have bones and, I mean, I guess organs. And I don't know. This is like, because like I said, everybody is just got it in their mind, like, okay, it's a human, it's humans, that Lord God made, not God. Well, God made male and female. Lord God formed man and woman. Okay. And so I don't know, just whole flesh and bones, like, okay, was that a sculpture too? And it's just like boom, like how people well, I guess how movies, when dolls come to life, like you make a doll and then you put a spell on it, or you do some kind of something to it, and then a doll, the puppet come to life, and it's like, hey, no, no, don't, don't, you know. So hey, but what was I talking about? Um, oh yeah, so he bought. But anyways, yeah, so basically the Lord God took all these and oh yeah, and then the serpent, but it's chapter 3. Do I have anything else for Genesis 2 instead of Adam to go to sleep? Oh yeah, and another thing that I want to point out to you, Demetra, is remember God in Genesis 1 created, let there be, spoke, and he said male and female, and they happen at the same time in Genesis 1. Elohim, male and female, were created or came up together at the same time. Now, in Genesis 2, Lord God made man first, from the dirt, from the soil, from the ground. And then later, because it says it, don't use the word later, but if you read, it says most likely, he had to put Adam to sleep. And then he took a rib from him and made a woman. So them two was not made at the same time, unlike in Genesis 1 when God made male, well, not made, but said, Elohim, male and female at the same time. Lord God made man and woman two different occasions. I had to take something out of the man just to make a woman. Okay, the male and female, they were together, but they were separate. Made together, but separately made, but togetherly. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. Oh yeah, when I want to go back to about the wife, the mother, and the father, in Genesis 2, verse 24 and 25, or 23, 24, and shoot, 25, I'm thinking this where they got like the arranged marriages from? Because I was trying to picture it how like Adam had to go to sleep before Lord God took a rib out from him and then made a woman, most likely through the ground also, and then brung the woman to him, brung the woman to Adam. And mind you, she still ain't have a name. Eve didn't even have a name. I don't think she got her name until Eve named after eating. Yeah, she got named after eating, I guess, the fruit in Genesis 3:20. That's what I wrote. But let me Genesis 3:20. Yeah, that's when she got her name, Eve, after after eating. But I was talking about, yeah, arranged marriages, okay? Because I'm like, if this where arranged marriages come from, when the man first sees the lady that he's going to marry for the first time, and they automatically is like married, like he don't know nothing about her or anything until the wedding day, and she walking down the aisle, and it's like, whoop, here you go, this is who, this is your wife. So I'm thinking this is kind of like that, because Lord God took, what brung the woman to Adam, and then he was just like, yeah, my wife, this is my wife. And like I said, the mother and father, I don't know where all that come from when y'all was just boom, like formed from the dirt and talking about mother and father. Like, really? Who put that in there? And then 25, and they were both naked, and man and his wife were not ashamed. Whew, okay. So this whole time, basically, Adam, was naked, and um, Eve, well, she don't have a name yet. This is in Genesis 2. Were naked, and they were not ashamed. Because I'm like, they probably didn't even know they was naked. So that's why they weren't ashamed. Because and once they ate from the tree, they was like, oh my goodness, we're naked. So I'm like, they didn't even know they was naked. So I guess 25, verse 25 is, I guess, putting it up there like, hey, they were naked and they were not ashamed. Like, how can you be ashamed when you don't even know that, that you should be ashamed? Or why would you be ashamed when you is naked? Like, that's nature, that's natural. I don't know. Especially for them too. It's like, ain't nothing being ashamed about being naked. especially if just you and your wife. It's like, why would we be ashamed? Even when they found out that they was naked, it's like, why y'all ashamed that y'all naked? It's just y'all two. And then it's like, oh no, Lord God is coming. He want to see us. It's like, if he's the one that's made you, he done already done see you. I don't know. That's weird. But moving on, that's something that I have to look into that too. Okay, so oh yeah, so it seems like the Lord God made the serpent because I'm moving on to chapter 3, Genesis 3. Let me see. Now the serpent was more subtle than any other beast in the field, which the Lord God had made. Okay, so the Lord God made the serpent. So I'm like, I'm assuming Lord God made everything through the ground, through um the dirt, the mud, the clay, the dust. This is his creation. But God creation, he just spoke it and it just happened. Okay. So Lord God did the whole formed and create things with the hand. So he made the serpent. So my thing was that since the serpent was having a whole conversation with the woman, I'm like, was this serpent? Well, obviously the serpent was standing up because the Lord God cursed him to walk on his belly or something. One of these verses. Yeah, one of these verses, the Lord God was like, "Hey, you're gonna walk on your belly or crawl on your belly and yada yada yada." So I'm like, the serpent was talking. Was there any other animals that was talking? So I'm like, all these animals that Lord God formed and brung to Adam to name, were they talking? You know what I'm trying to say, Demetra? So that's something. So I'm like, if somebody knows, then hey, yeah, say yeah, all the animals was talking, the birds was talking, the cattle, everybody had the same language, everybody understood each other, and I'm like, these animals that was formed, was it a man and a woman also? Was it a mate or was it just one person? Because I'm like, this serpent all up in Eve and Adam's business. I'm just saying her name Eve, but she didn't have her name yet when she was talking to the serpent. But I'm like, all of this serpent, where was your mate at? Where was your boo thing? You all up in Eve business, up in the woman's business. Like, go play with your mate. So I'm like, did you even have a mate? And that's when I was talking about when the Lord God was like, hey, it's not good for a man to be by himself. Let me create a helpmate for him. So I'm like, was all these other animals, did you create a helpmate for them? And then that's when he was like, you know what, let me do one for this man that I formed from the ground as well. Because I'm like, this serpent just started talking to Eve, like we was trying to holler at her, and then she was like, oh no. And then he was like, hey, go ahead and eat that fruit. I don't know. You know how some people be, oh, you turned me down. Well, that fruit over there, that tree over there, trying to set him up. So yeah. So I guess the serpent and the woman was talking, obviously, because they had a whole freaking conversation in Genesis 3, had a whole conversation with each other about the fruit and the eating. And oh yeah, and then another thing, Eve was like, the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees. We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst, I guess the middle of the garden, we should not eat of it. We cannot eat of it, neither shall we touch it. So they can eat from it and they cannot touch it. The tree that's in the middle. So of course, before the woman was made, Lord God did tell Adam, hey, you cannot eat of this. Let me go back to that verse. Genesis 2, and the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. Mind you, Lord God made or formed the Garden of Eden, or made the Garden of Eden. I forgot what verse that was in, and Lord God planted, yeah. Genesis 2:8. It's just 2:8, yeah. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. Oh, no, he didn't make Eden. He planted a garden in Eden. Okay, so I guess Eden was already there. But Lord God planted a garden in Eden. Okay. And then verse number 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden and to dress it and keep it. And Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil, basically, you cannot eat of it. The day that you eat of it, you will surely die. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. So, after Lord God told this to Adam, like, look, I'm take you to this garden, dress it and keep it, keep it up, maintain it, this and that or whatever. You can eat of every tree, but except for the one in the middle. He told that to the man. So when Eve was talking to the serpent, it seemed as though maybe Adam probably told Eve, hey, like I said, Eve ain't even have a name till after the eating, but whatever. So I'm gonna say woman. So it seemed like the man, did Adam even have a name? When did Adam? And the Lord God caused the deep sleep out of the ground. And Adam gave the name, I guess Adam, and Adam gave names. When did Adam get his name? Well, anyways, so it seemed like Lord God told Adam. So I'm assuming Adam told the woman, hey, we cannot eat of the tree in the middle. But I don't think the Lord God actually told Eve that, only Adam. Then Adam passed it along to Eve, so Eve would know. Because in verse dun, 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 because once they ate of it, it seemed like Eve ate it first. Mind you, she ain't have a name yet. I'm gonna say the woman. So the woman ate whatever fruit from the tree first, and nothing happened. Okay, it didn't seem like nothing happened to her, and then she ended up walking or running or skipping or whatever, rolling down the hill, whatever it was, to go to her husband, and then gave whatever it was to her husband. And then once he ate of it, it says both of their eyes were open and they knew they were naked. So I'm like, because they don't say nothing like when Eve ate it, her eyes was open and she was like, oh my goodness, oh my god. No, it seemed like Eve ate it. This is in Genesis 3. Let me see, Genesis 3. I'm going to start from Genesis 3:6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the, I can't even talk, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So I'm like, where was Adam actually at when this conversation was going on? Unless she took it and she didn't eat of it yet until she went to Adam and then was like, huh, we want to eat this together. Because let me see, she took of the fruit and did eat. No, yeah, she did eat. So she ate. This is Genesis 3:6. The woman took the food, she ate it, she did eat, and then and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So it seemed like obviously she ate first. They didn't eat together the first time. She ate first, and then she gave it to her husband, and both of them ate, and he did eat. And then it says, and they asked, and The eyes of them both were open, and they knew they were naked, and they sewn fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Okay. So I guess how did they know? Well, I guess since they ate from the tree of knowledge and was it knowledge of good and evil? Or they ate from it. So they knew, oh my goodness, I got private parts. I got something down here that's swinging, and you got something down there that's a hole that my swinging thing can go in. So I guess they found that out because in Genesis 2, yeah, they wasn't even talking about having intercourse. They were just saying wife. Yeah, and like verse 25, 2:25. And they both were naked, and the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. So they said they was naked. They ain't say nothing like they had intercourse. They knew each other, this and that. They was just like, hey, they was naked. So I don't think no intercourse happened. But then when they ate from the tree or ate the fruit or whatever, their eyes were both open and they knew they were naked. And then they sewn the leaves together. And then moving along, the beginning of chapter 4, Genesis 4, it says, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. I gotten a man from the Lord. Okay. So it seemed like they didn't have any intercourse until after they ate. Now, how long was this days separated? Was this hours? Was this weeks? Was this minutes? Was this on the seventh day? Was this on the eighth day? Was this on that repeat after that seventh day? You know, that was rested, and then this happened. Then Genesis 2 happened, and it was like, okay, is this day 8 or this the repeat day? It's like a repeat day unless you start over. But anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there because I ain't trying to make videos too long for myself to know. But basically, at Eve, if you go to verse Demetra, Genesis 3, number 20, it says, and Adam called his wife named Eve because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them. So I'm like, where did these animals start getting killed, or did Lord God start killing the animals that were just spoken into existence, like God animals? It was like, hey, says he talking about replenish and be fruitful and multiply. It's plenty of these animals and things that were not made from the dirt. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take them and use them as how I want it to be used, because my creation is made from the dirt I had to form, but God just had to speak. So I'm used to speaking. All these animals that came into existence by speaking. I'ma just use them and do whatever and use their skin and make clothes for the people that I formed through the dirt through the dirt. But anyways, uh so yeah, that's what I'm gonna just end it, and I'll start probably from Genesis 4, and then I'm getting to the Noah thing, and then get into, like I said, Genesis 1, God, Genesis 2, Lord God, and then it seemed like Genesis 4, it became the Lord. So I'm like, and so far, this is so far this far. I'm thinking the Lord was probably Lord God, but they, when Genesis 4, when the fall, quote unquote fall happened, when the fruit was eaten or the whatever was eating from the tree, that's when Lord God took off God and was just like, I'm just going to be the Lord. Like, you don't gotta call me Lord God. Scratch that God. Just call me the Lord. But who knows? It could be another person. Could be number 3. Or shoot. But I know that God in Genesis 1 would not be the same person in Genesis 2. Because I'm like, why would you do a whole repeat of what you already did? Like, come on now. This just seemed like a copycat. Or just yeah. But who knows? I'ma just keep reading and keep taking notes and I'll see what I come up with. Alrighty. Until next time.